Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're doing okay. On this Thursday afternoon, we're going to do two Rashis today, one from the end of the fourth Aliyah, one from the beginning of the fifth Aliyah. So towards the end of the fourth Aliyah, we have the birth of Yitzchak, finally, after much anticipation and much waiting. We read about his birth, and this birth comes right after the incident with Avimelech. Just like Avram and Sarah had gone to Mitzrayim and lied about who Sarah was, they go to Gerar, and over there we learned that yesterday, that Rashi, about why they go to Gerar, why they leave towards the Eretz HaNegev. Were they getting away from Lot? Were they getting away from the area that had no more passers-by? We talked about that a little bit. So they go towards the south, towards the area of Gerar. They lie about who Sarah is. Avimelech gets afflicted because of it, because of being with Sarah and taking her. Avimelech gets upset. Why didn't you tell me? Eventually, Abraham davens for the refuah of Avimelech. That's what the pasuk tells us. And then we learn Vashem pakad Sarah kasher amar vayas Hashem l'Sarah kasher diber. Hashem remembered Sarah, and here this is the classic form of Torah type of remembering of Pekida, which is Pekida for a certain kind of action. Just like Hashem remembers the Jewish people in Egypt and takes them out, so too the Jewish people remember Yosef and take him out. So too Hashem remembers Sarah and allows her to become pregnant. And he does exactly to Sarah, which he had anticipated and foretold in the visit of the three angels, or the three Anashim, which had come to her to tell her that she would have a child. So Rashi immediately picks up on the juxtaposition of the story of Avimelech and the story of Yitzchak's birth. Vashem Pakad, very important Rashi here at the end of the fourth Aliyah. Samach Parsha Zolakan, the Parsha of the birth of Yitzchak, of Hashem answering their prayers for a child, is Smicha, Samuch. It's next to the Parsha of Avimelech in order to teach us an important lesson, which is the Gemara in Baba Kama. L'lamed shekol mevakish rachamim al chavero v'utzarich la'oso davar hu na'aneh tchila. Whoever asks for mercy, whoever davens for their friend, and they need the same thing, they actually get answered first. Shenemar vayispalel, etc. It says in previous psukim that Avraham had davened for Avimelech, and Hashem Pakad sounds like what it's saying here. Instead of Pakad Hashem, but Hashem Pakad, based on the order and the conjugation of the verb, it seems like this happened already, which means even before Avram was answered and Avimelech was healed, Hashem was Pakad Sarah, because once he was davening so sincerely and so compassionately for someone else, Hashem actually ended up answering his and her tefillos first. Beautiful concept of the nature of tefillah, and about the idea of being sort of selfless in our tefillah and really caring about other people to the point where we actually have a more efficacious tefillah and answer from Hashem in and of ourselves. Sometimes when we're least thinking about ourselves, when we're most thinking about others, it's when goodness comes upon us. And very beautiful concept with much more to think about. But moving into the fifth Aliyah, we of course learn more about this boy Yitzchak, which Avram had named over here. Vayikra Avram Hashem b'nahan lo shel yad lo Sarah Yitzchak. He calls her Yitzchak. And then connected to the tzchok, to the laughter theme, the pasuk says over here, Vatomer Sarah, Sarah says, Tzchok asali Elohim, kol hashomea Yitzchak li. So she says, Hashem did a tzchok for me, and anyone who hears will Yitzchak li. What exactly is the meaning of the tzchok and the Yitzchak li over here? So clearly they name him Yitzchak because of the tzchok, but now Sarah actually verbalizes it. Tzchok asali Elohim. God did a tzchok for me. So in modern Hebrew, tzchok means a joke. So if you read the plain meaning of the pasuk in that way, what Sarah's saying here is like, Hashem played a joke on me. This is like ridiculous. A woman of my age to give birth, it's almost laughable. Not only is it laughable in the theoretical sense, but anyone who hears Yitzchak li or Yitzchak li, they're just going to laugh at me. They're not even going to believe it. It's unbelievable. It's incredulous. They're going to make fun of me. They're going to laugh at me. But that's not the context, that's not the interpretation which Rashi favors over here. Rashi doesn't view tzchok here as a negative kind of laughter, even though we've seen that kind of laughter already emerge from Sarah earlier in the story, from Avram earlier in the story, the tzchok of disbelief, the tzchok of the discomfort between what you know rationally and what these angels are telling you, or between what you know rationally and the birth of Yitzchak. That's the kind of tzchok which is a laughing at. That's the kind of tzchok which is a laugh of disbelief. But Rashi has here Yitzchak li is Yismach alai. Tzchok asali Elohim. Hashem did a simcha for me. And anyone who hears is Yitzchak li, Yismach alai, is going to be happy for me. So tzchok here is not in the context of joking or laughing, but in the context of simcha. The way Rashi knows that is actually from the Targum Onkelos on this pasuk. If you look over here, the Targum of the pasuk, pasuk Vav, Vatomer Sarah tzchok asali Elohim kol hashomei Yitzchak li, va'amara Sarah chedva avad li Hashem kol deshama yichtei li. Yichtei chedva chet daled is in Aramaic simcha. Chedva. Chedva is simcha. You know, even in Hebrew, chedva is simcha. You have the language of the Sheva Brachos, Ditza, V'chedva, Ava, V'shalom, V'reus, etc. And the last of the Sheva Brachos. So Chedva, Yichtei, Chad is the language of Simcha. So Rashi adopts that and says Yitzchak li is Yitzmach alai. V'agada, Harbe akaros nifkedu ima, Harbe cholim nisrapu, V'rav schok ba'olam. According to the Medrash Agada, says Rashi, that on that day when Sarah was remembered, many barren women were remembered, many sick people were healed, and there was a lot of simcha in the world. There was a lot of schok in the world. So in the first interpretation, Yismach alai, Yitzchak li, is they'll be happy for me. And in the second interpretation of the Agada, the Yitzchak li is more like they'll be happy alongside me, right? In addition to me being happy, Yitzchak li, they will be happy with me because they'll be happy for their own reasons. Beautiful idea here about the fact that when goodness comes into the world, it comes in bulk. It's able to really permeate the rest of the people. Not only did Sarah receive incredible bracha on that day, but once she received bracha, more bracha came into the world and was able to spill over to other people, other akaros, other cholim. A lot of beautiful ideas over here in terms of the second interpretation and the way goodness comes into the world. But I just want to end with one thought on the beginning. Yitzchak li, Yismach alai. The idea of being happy along with other people is sometimes difficult. Sometimes we don't have what they have. Sometimes we can't relate to their simcha. But the ability to really be happy for another person and with another person seems obvious, but it's something very special when you can experience it. We should all be zochi to many simchas, but we should all be zocha to try to feel the other people's simcha as well, to try to be there for them in their moments of simcha and experience it as our own. Have a great day, everybody. And
I have a question, Rabbi. Remember, I have one question.
Please.
The way I read it, when I lean it, I say Yitzchak li, not Yitzchak li.
Yes, I know.
Is that the way you're supposed to say it? Yitzchak li?
I think so. And actually, I was surprised when I saw that. Maybe it's just this website. I'm looking in the Chumash. It's Yitzchak li. It should be. I'm not sure why they use that nikud. I'm not sure actually. I have to look into it. Ed, if you find an answer, you'll have to let me know why there's different versions of the nikud. Or maybe it's just a mistake on this website, but I have to compare different chumashes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it should be Yitzchak li. Yes, Richard.
And so with what you said today and also what you've been talking about with Simcha by Tachanun,
yes,
I'm always very much enamored with Rabbi Sachs. I'm sure it's not only him, but that approach of the Baal Simcha has this obligation to be Misameach others. That's why you have to bring a korban that feeds more people than just you when you come, and all these proclamations. So it's not only sort of this existential thing, am I feeling your Simcha or am I feeling your pain as an Avel, but by Simcha you have this obligation to spread it. Presumably by Avelut, you don't have an obligation to spread misery. People have an obligation to comfort you, but that's a different thing. And so I think maybe there's something in the halacha there that also affects how we should be doing this. So,
beautiful. That's very nice. I like that idea. Maybe it's because it's our obligation to share the simcha that others are able to partake. Beautiful. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Many simchas.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thank you, everyone.
Shalom.
Bye, Howie.